ready to roller jab.
Commissioner Jerry Seltzer has laid down the law.
It goes without saying that I will abide by Commissioner Seltzer's edict. This week, Sundogs will have to head into battle on their own.
But the logeless Sundogs are marching straight towards an army of darkness, the New York enforcers.
Eye of the newt, tail of a squirrel, cast a spell on the golden girl. Add a black cat's claw and a bobcat gut. The Hellcat's here to kill that slut.
I feel really sorry about Talisa Miller. Ever since I kicked her butt in the match race and threw her off the wrestlers, the girl thinks she's a witch. It's pitiful.
The Big Nasty needs no spell to induce fear. And unfortunately for Lord Patterson, he's on Washington's hit list.
Lord Patterson, it's a shame you came all the way from England to get your ass kicked. And not to mention, tonight, you'll be exposed.
It's the Sundogs attempting to survive the enforcers. Next on Roller Jam. From Orlando, Roller Jam Arena at Universal Studios, this is the World Skating League. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is Roller Jam. Tonight, we bring you the New York Enforcers going up against the Florida Sundogs, the evil and darkness of the Enforcers and the goody two-shoes image of the Florida Sundogs. Very happy to have you with us, everybody. Rory Marcus, along with Lee, a Hawk Rearman.
And I have my goody two-shoes on. Two shoes.
Well, he always does. And I'll tell you what, tonight, Kenneth Logue is wearing his goody two-shoes. I don't know where he is, though it's a mystery as to whether or not he'll be here. It's been a very obvious conflict of interest for Mr. Logue, running the Sundogs and running the league. Anybody can see that. And Jerry Seltzer, the league commissioner, has had something to say about that. But remember the last time we saw Logue, he was tied up with Big Nasty Tim Washington.
Well, the Florida Sundogs are defined by the iron fist rule of Kenneth Logue. And the five-borough lineup defines just flat-out ugly fist. And you're right, Big Nasty, Mark D'Amato, they send this guy down. Hey, God, he's a good dry cleaner, not to mention a couple of Band-Aids, pal.
And he left a little blood on the track, unfortunately, for Mr. Logue. Now, Jerry Seltzer's been heard from. I've heard rumors about it today. Let's go down to Broadway, Danny Wolf, and see exactly what's up.
Thank you, Rory. We have here the following edict coming from the office of Commissioner Jerry Seltzer, and it reads, after my visit with European heads of state and my successful ascent of Mount Everest, I was watching a broadcast of Roller Jam in Nepal, and I was shocked and dismayed to discover what had become of this grand game. The violence, savagery, and disorganization must immediately cease. Therefore, the following changes will take effect as of midnight tonight. Kenneth Logue III will return to his post as league president for a 6-month probationary period. Each team will be required to hire a general manager within 30 days who will act as a liaison between the team and the front office. Failure to comply will result in immediate dismissal from the World Skating League, fine, imprisonment, or both. Yours truly, Commissioner Jerry Seltzer. Back to you, Rory.
Imagine being on Mount Everest and having to think about Kenneth Logue.
Imagine Kenneth Logue in prison.
Yeah,
what are we going to do? We got nobody to make fun of anymore.
He wouldn't like that at all. You never know who's going to be on the track now when we get these skater intros. Let's find out. The Enforcers and the Sundogs coming up.
Let's do it, baby! You're going to take caution! We're doing up against the Big Nasty!
As I mentioned, the entrances sometimes are more interesting than anything else. And as usual, the Big Nasty has his motorcycle and leather gunning right behind him. And take a look at this.
Take a look. This is the Hellcat, Talisa Miller. I don't know, Rory. I caught a glimpse of those Hellcat eyes. Wow.
There's a bad moon rising over the Enforcers tonight. And the bad part about it is they like that.
Here comes that five-borough lineup.
Boy, these guys play up to their image, too. The New York Enforcers are just as mean and tough and nasty on the track as they appear to be when they first enter the place. You know, you have to wonder about who they'll choose to be their general manager. I can't imagine Mark D'Amato or the Big Nasty taking off the skates. So who will be in the infield for them?
Well, I can't imagine these two answering to anybody either, Rory. You're absolutely right. It's an interesting question. Maybe the guy who builds and maintains that Harley.
Look at these fans. They enjoy D'Amato's entrance. Mark D'Amato coming in on the motorcycle once again. Crowd reacts to D'Amato. I keep mentioning the name Kenneth Logue because I'm curious to find out if he's in the building tonight. We'll find out now. Here come the Sundogs. Usually he leads them out, Hawk, so that's probably a sign that either he's not here or he's laying under the track and hiding somewhere.
Well, these Sundogs are still sticking with their traditional entrances we've come to know. Lord Patterson, Pattison, and April Tootle, they're still coming out in lockstep, smiling to the crowd. He may not be here, but his iron fist rule is still making a dent.
He could be back in the locker room watching replays of Father Knows Best, or who knows. It seems like when something negative happens with his team, he all of a sudden disappears.
Maybe somebody stole his little Land Rover he's had out here recently.
Micah Martin and Kathy Evangelo skating on the track. There you've got Sigmund Williams and Janet Abraham. I think Janet likes it on this team, don't you?
Well, she likes Kenneth Logue's strict rules. Without him here, Rory, I don't know, we don't see him yet. These guys might be in trouble if the head's gone from this monster.
Rusty Montgomery and Katie Cooper on the track. Of course, Lindsey Francis is the untouchable as far as Logue and the Sundogs are concerned, and right now, within touching distance, Broadway Danny Wolf.
Thank you, Rory. Roller Jam fans here in the arena, everyone at home, and especially you, Lindsey Francis. Talisa the Hellcat Miller wants you all to see this. Watch the screen.
Bring your pain, bring your rage, bring your pain, bring your rage, bring your pain, bring your rage. Abracadabra, Alizane, Lindsey Francis, this will be your last game.
Well, Lindsey, I gotta ask you, your tarot card says this is gonna be your last game. What do you have to say?
Tarot card. First of all, Barbie doesn't have anything on me. Second of all, Talisa, you're a little too old to be playing with Barbie dolls, don't you think?
What do you think of all this witchcraft stuff? She's throwing legs. Watch out. She's throwing pieces of a Barbie doll at you. What do you think of all her witchcraft, Lindsey?
First of all, I don't believe in her hoodoo voodoo garbage. You know what? I kicked her butt in the match race, and it didn't take any magic, so I'll do it again tonight.
Good luck, Lindsey.
Thank you very much.
Back to you, Rory.
All right, thanks, Danny, with the cloud of witchcraft and black magic hanging over her head. Lindsey Francis smiles through it all. We'll see what happens. Coming up, the Enforcers and the Sundogs. It gets stranger all the time with a spell cast on Lindsey.
Tig Miller, call it black magic. Might be new, might be a new nightmare, but for other women in the World Skating League, she just brings tough play. I don't care what color she has on. And Lindsey Francis, the Golden Girl, she says, Barbie has nothing on me, people. She's just got a pretty smile, goes on her way. These guys battle every time, Rory.
Lindsey smiling in the face of that black magic, and look at that stare. Man, even if abracadabra doesn't work, that would frighten me. And right away, Talisa Miller just throws Lindsey Francis over the rail. Not even worrying about the play and the jam, which is underway right now. Lindsey trying to get back on the track and gets dumped again.
The Hellcat, she wasted no time, Rory.
Well, you don't need black magic if this is your plan. Completely not recognizing the play or the jam, she goes after Lindsey Francis with intent to injure. And I tell you, she might have done it. Talisa Miller's after her again. I can't take my eyes off of those two, and neither can the fans here. As Leather Gunnan comes up to the back of the pack with a chance to score points. Janet Abraham's in her way, and Miller takes care of Abraham with a big sweeping right, and then dumps another one. Meanwhile, Leather goes right on by as Katie Cooper picks herself up off the track. Wow. 5 quick points for Leather Gunning, and not a word from the referee about the mugging of Lindsey Francis.
The Hellcat might have put a spell on Sean Corbin. He seems to be turning a blind eye to this kind of activity. But we saw her earlier with candles, robes, and tarot cards. I don't think Lindsey Francis is seeing much after that, but she was a one-woman wrecking crew. She took down 2 of the biggest Sundogs in Janet Abraham and Katie Cooper. Leather Gunning picks up 5 big points, and these enforcers have come out with fire in their eyes, Rory.
Here's the second jam of the first period. There are 4 jams per period, and this is number 2. And right away, Leather Gunning's out there again. April Tootle on the chase. The black helmeted skaters are the only ones who can score points. They get out there out of that pack, skate around a lot faster than the pack skaters, and their attempt is to lap skaters from the other team. That's how you score here. And already 5 big ones have been put on the board by the enforcers. April Tootle and Leather Gunning. I think she went in and legally changed her name to Leather over the weekend. Nice shot there by Gunning to take Tootle out of the play. And now it's Gunning and Francis. Lindsey Francis has that black helmet on, but she never got out of the pack. She couldn't score any points. Oh, and they set her up for Talisa Miller again.
Oh, she's not done, Roy. The Hellcat has a garbage can lid. That's not a tarot card?
This is not witchcraft. It's just plain old-fashioned barbarianism.
Let's go.
Talisa Miller.
Let's go, line it up.
The Hellcat said, I want you to watch this. She told Danny Wolf to direct everybody's attention to the screen. Well, it didn't take her long to get it done on the track either. Lindsey Francis, the beneficiary of 2 unbelievable moves from the Hellcat. And I say beneficiary only because I'm facetious.
Here we go.
It's ugly 2 jams in, right?
You notice the jam starting right there at the starting line where we start the game. That also was mentioned by Commissioner Jerry Seltzer. He felt that things were getting a little bit discombobulated out there and sloppy, and he said, look, let's start the jam on the line and make sure the jammers have a chance to get out. And when they get out, they go down sometimes.
Well, the Sundogs have 2 jammers out, Rory. It's very important. With Kenneth Loeb nowhere to be seen, apparently he's not going to be able to join the Sundogs. We have to watch how are these guys going to react without him. Well, they've had 2 jams where they've just been decimated. It's really important for them to get back into this game right here. And so far in this jam, they got 2 jammers out all alone.
It's 6-0 enforcers, but here's Francis and Laura Heiser with a chance. And they take advantage of it. Decking the 2 blockers from the enforcers, Miller and Gunning. And there go Heiser and Francis with time still. 10 seconds to score some more if they can do it. And they did it. What'd they get? 6, I believe, is the call by referee Sean Corbin. And the Cats mad now.
Great courage shown by the Sundogs as Heiser and Lindsey Francis celebrate. They don't have a coach. We don't know who he's going to be. They come out the first 2 jams and get annihilated by the Sisters of Suffering. They come back and take out the 2 queen bees of the Sisters of Suffering, the Hellcat and Leather. The Sundogs, they got it. They got courage.
The Sundogs were on the board there with 6, and now the enforcer women had a little huddle, and 3 of them left the track, leaving only Talisa Miller and Leather Gunning out there, and look what they have in mind. Is this what you call a jam? I don't think so. I wonder if Seltzer's sliding down Mount Everest watching this.
Well, Corbin's lost total control of this game. What can he do? He's only got 2 enforcer women. They just start to pummel 5 other women. I don't think he knows how to react, and they might score some points, Rory.
It looks like they will. I don't know if the Sundogs can stop the force of Talisa Miller and Leather Gunning. It's amazing to only have 2 skaters out there, and they both get out on a jam. And she winds up that black helmet, knocks it off the head of Janet Abraham, and on they go. Here's a whip for Gunning. And Miller's talking to her, says, give me your helmet. I want to do some more damage. She hands it off, and there they go. Wow. Another shot with the helmet. Talk about against the rules. Where's Corbin right now? She comes up to Abraham again and gives her a shot in the lower back. And the helmet flew into the first row of seats. Miller and Gunning call off the jam. She voluntarily took her helmet off, if you've ever seen it in your life, and yet they got the 5 points.
5 points with only 2 women on the track, Rory. We see power jams of 1, sometimes 2 people. Very seldom do we see 3 opponents in the penalty box. The enforcer women actually just do enforcer women. The Hellcat and Leather take it upon themselves, send the other 3 girls to the showers, and get 5 points. Wow.
With the new rule, starting the jam from the starting line, they can right away, at the sound of that whistle, turn around and start smacking people around, and they did it. The first period has come to an end. 11-6 is the score. The enforcers lead the Sundogs, and special delivery for Tim Washington. We can only imagine what's in there.
What the heck's in there?
We'll find out. We'll be back. Broadway Danny Wolf immediately went over to find out what's in that envelope. What have you got, Danny?
Well, let's hope we find out right now. Big Nasty, show us what is in this envelope.
Chill out, man. Listen here. This guy, Lord Patterson, who came from Britain, says he's a lord and all that stuff like that. He's a big phony, okay? His name is Scott Smith. What? You see that? Logan's been duped once again, okay? And Scott Smith, Lord Patterson, whatever you want to go by, when I get done with you tonight, you're gonna be bleeding big time.
How'd you get the passport?
None of your business, baby.
Helmet's on. I'm me.
Well, the Big Nasty with his new INS credentials under his belt. You see the league leader in kills and deportations. And Lord Scott Patterson, now we'll get a confirmation on that. I guess it's just Scott Smith, Knight of the British Empire, or fraud, who works on the south side of London, maybe in the Tube, Rory.
Here we go, period number 2, and it's been a good game so far, 11-6. Enforcers by 5, and here's some speed on the track for you. Sigmund Williams for the Sundogs. Oh, and he easily knocks out Tony Santiago of the New York Enforcers. Sigmund Williams is a tremendous skater. Sometimes even too fast for his own good when he gets going. But now he gets back there and Washington's warming up. The Big Nasty says, here's one for you. Williams holds his chest and says, that did hurt, as a matter of fact. Can he get by him? Not yet. 20 seconds, and Sigmund Williams is going to say 20 seconds. Oh! A head-on collision between Bill Barker and the Big Nasty.
Captain America sacrificed his body.
And those guys might be shaken up, I'll tell you what. They hit helmet to helmet.
There's not many guys who would pick a fight with Big Nasty, much less go airborne head-to-head with the guy. But Captain America, he's all team. There's no I in Captain America. There might be an I in there somewhere, but who's counting?
Maybe in Captain, and maybe in America.
Okay, there's an I in both of them.
It's 11-9. I know what you meant, though. The Sundogs trail it by 2. And trying to break through the double block, Brian Gallagher falls face first. Man, this has been a tough game already. And Gallagher picks himself up and says, all right, I didn't get him that time, but I'm still going to come back next time. And you know they always do in this league. Andy Wallace and Fred Eichhorn. For the Enforcers with a chance to score against Montgomery and Barker. Oh, that's a double block that you don't want to run up against if you can help it. As Wallace and Eichhorn are finding out right now. Montgomery and Barker doing a good job. But here comes D'Amato! D'Amato and the Big Nasty knock down the double block of Montgomery and Barker. And there goes the skate into the chest.
Little lift from your friends. Your friends like this. Who needs enemies?
That might be what Barker.
Wow.
Might be what Barker's thinking. The Big Nasty likes it. Broadway Danny Wolf, I think he has some information for us in the infield. Danny, take it.
Yeah, Rory, I just tried to get a word from, I guess, Scott Smith. This guy's distraught. He doesn't want to talk to me right now. Some of the Florida players, there's some confusion and chaos. He might have pulled the wool over everyone's eyes. Hopefully, at halftime, we'll get a word from Scott Smith. But, you know, knowing the Enforcers, who knows where they even got this passport from or if it's real. We'll learn at halftime. Back to you, Rory.
Well, he came in telling everybody he was descended from royalty. He obviously had the English accent. And I think Tim Washington managed to look into it and found out maybe he's a fraud. One thing about the Enforcers, they are tough on the track, but you know what? They play together and they win their share of games, more than their share.
What a sleuth that Tim Washington must be.
I bet you D'Amato had a hand in that. What do you think?
He's so inconspicuous. Both these guys can so inconspicuously go out on research detail, undercover, I'd say.
Micah Martin's on the jam now. You wonder not only where Logue is tonight, probably watching on television, praying, but what about Scott Patterson, or Scott Smith, he has not participated in the game yet. He's sitting alone at the end of the bench as D'Amato wishes he were on the end of the bench as he gets taken out of the play by Barker.
And that's twice Captain America. Don't tell Captain America that he doesn't have a general manager. Don't tell Captain America that Lord Patterson is really Lord Smith from somewhere else. He doesn't need a reason to go against these guys. He just wants to play. And two Captain Americas in a row take out the two animals.
Somebody has to step up with Logue gone. There's nobody to run the team, and it looks like Barker, in his own quiet way, has taken it upon himself. He took it upon himself to demolish D'Amato on that jam.
What a gutsy kid Captain America is. One jam he takes out Big Nasty, the next it's Mark D'Amato, and now he's out jamming, Rory.
No, that's Scott Patterson. That's Scott Smith. What do you want to call him, Hawk? How about just Scott?
That's Scott.
There's Scott on the jam. And look at that. He still has a move or two. And his Sundog teammates in the infield are cheering him on as he rolls around the track. Scott Smith, I'm sure that's probably his real name because Washington had the passport. We'll find out more about what he had in mind and what he's doing here later, I think. But now Washington is saying, come on, I'll show you what it's like over here in the good old US of A. Here's one for you. And another one. Scott Smith is overmatched. Washington has him.
Oh, no.
Smith's in trouble.
This can't be good.
D'Amato's there as well. Oh, this is bad news.
Oh, no.
You talk about leading him into the wolves. And Washington's gone a little nuts, and so has D'Amato.
Play nice, boys. There we go, watch it.
Is Corbin kidding? Play nice, boys, is what he said to D'Amato. He must be out of his mind. All right, we're at halftime. And there's Scott Smith. The score is 15-13. And we will be back as soon as we take the garbage out. We'll be right back. A 2-point lead for the Enforcers. Now, most of the time we talk about how the action picked right up at the first jam and how they were going after one another. This one was about half a second after the opening whistle that Talisa Miller jumped on Lindsey Francis and sent her right over the rail. Now, remember, before the game, she'd cast a voodoo spell on Francis and decided to make that come true as soon as that whistle blew. Watch Miller. She goes right after Francis, grabs her helmet, grabs a hold of Lindsey Francis, and sends the Golden Girl reeling over the rail. And that's the way they started the game. I mean, Talisa Miller couldn't care less about that first jam. She just wanted to injure.
Well, then she picked up a little help from her friend Leather Gunnin. It was 2-on-5. They sent the other three girls home to the showers, but they came out, totally annihilated the Sundog outfit. Then they took off and even scored the points, Rory, and it just got uglier for Lindsey Francis.
You know, the amazing thing is, with only two people on the track for the Enforcers, Gunnin and Miller, they scored all the points. They picked up 5 on that jam. And then on the men's side, a special delivery envelope for the big nasty Tim Washington. He told us all that Lord Scott Patterson is actually Scott Smith of the streets of London, and it kind of took him out, didn't they?
Well, it looked like they were taking out the trash. Bill Barker comes up, Captain America, to try to... He was the only saving grace for the Sundogs, or it could have been really ugly, Rory.
With Kenneth Logue not here, don't know where he is, but it's almost as though he put this together for us, a little retrospective of his highlights with the Sundogs.
The Florida Sundogs were a team on the brink of extinction. Countless players had tried and failed to resurrect their lowly team. That is, until one determined man took it upon himself to save the original Roller Jam franchise. Kenneth Logue III was that great man.
I'm going to take over the management of the Florida Sundogs.
From that moment on, inspiration graced the hearts of all those who witnessed Logue's rise to legendary coaching status. Solely for the love of the sport, this wonderful man gave 110% of himself to aid his new team. His relentless work ethic and fervor to instill discipline would have brought tears to Vince Lombardi's eye. The Sundogs subsequently responded gallantly, raising their level of play far higher than ever thought imaginable. The Sundogs and Kenneth Logue III were a marriage made in heaven. Forever, Logue's presence will be felt in all Sundogs' hearts. The world has benefited miraculously from this coupling. Kenneth Logue III, we thank you.
Oh, how nauseating was that? All right, what a revelation. Are you Scott Patterson? Are you Scott? Who are you?
You know what? I'm a British hooligan. My name is Scott Smith, and I'm here to stay. You know, this is the land of opportunity, and I saw the opportunity to pull the wool over some stupid American's eyes like Kenneth Logue. And here it is. I'm here to stay. Read it and weep, Tomato. Read it and weep.
Wait a minute. I happen to agree with you that Logue is an idiot, but when you start talking about my country, America, you're over the line, buddy. Let me tell you, that's right. Let me tell these people something at home. From the minute this freak stepped on the track, Big Nasty came to me and he said, Quadfather, there's something not right. I know something's not right. So I gave him my team of investigators, and under his direction, they uncovered the stinking, ugly truth about you, buddy.
Good work, but read it and weep. I'm here to stay. There ain't nothing you can do about it.
Is this like you wanted to get your green card? Is this
Absolutely, absolutely. You know, all you need is a little British accent and a little bit of charm. You can do anything in this country. It's done.
All right, back to you, Rory and Hawk.
All right, Danny, I guess the Teddy Boy's in town to stay, but he might regret that when D'Amato and the Big Nasty get after him in the second half. 15-13 is the score. A lot's gone on already. Don't go anywhere. 15-13 Enforcers. Broadway Danny Wolf right now is standing next to the voice of Rage and Ruin, Talisa Miller. Be careful, Danny.
Thank you for the warning, Rory. Talisa, it looks like your spell hasn't worked so far. I mean, Lindsay's still here. She isn't gone yet.
Haste, haste, no time to wait. We're off to the Sabbath, so Lindsay, don't be late.
You listen here, Talisa Miller. I'm the minister with the real power. We don't believe in your witchcraft or your tarot cards. As a matter of fact, you mess with her again, I'm going to take you out and I'm going to convert you.
Apparently, my ugly spell has came true, Janet.
Oh, back to you, Rory.
We bring you God and Country every week on Roller Jam. Thanks a lot, Danny.
I'm going to church after this, Rory. You coming with me?
I think we better do it.
We're taking D'Amato, too.
Just to be on the safe side. Imagine we have to turn to Mark D'Amato to uphold the honor of America. But the crowd was with him, I'll say that. There goes Leather Gunnin. She's on the jam with April Tootle. The Enforcers leading the game 15-13 as we start the third period. 4 jams per period, and the women are in their first one of the second half. Leather Gunnin's had a good game already. She and Miller have proven one thing, that they do have a lot of power and force on this women's side. But right now, the jam's pretty even until right there. Finally, April Tootle's knocked out of there. And Lindsey Francis is back to block.
Whoa!
And she's on the shoulders of Miller. What are you going to do with her, Talisa? Lindsey Francis, without Logue here to protect her, has had a tough night.
The Hellcat dispenses in short order of the Golden Girl. She doesn't need a spell for that one. Wow.
There's Janet Abraham right there, and she's obviously upset at the way things are going, and I don't blame her. 16-13. The Enforcers are here in period number 3. And all 4 jammers get out. You don't see that all that often, that they all 4 can emerge from that pack, but it's a little bit easier right now with the way the rules are, starting at the line each time. Laura Heiser and Shauna Brown go down, and now we just have, once again, Francis and Gunnin. Talisa Miller's done all the talking, but Leather Gunnin's been just as tough until right there, and she pounds the track. Upset that Francis got by, and there's Abraham to help Lindsay. She just knocked Miller over the rail. And now Janet Abraham is running some interference through that pack. She winds up that right arm, and there they go. Lindsey Francis called off the jam. 3 points, though.
Oh, no. She likes that garbage can lid, the Hellcat does. Maybe she drinks milk or blood out of it later.
Let's go.
Oh, look at her preening herself. Abraham picks herself up. She grabbed that trash can top, looked in there, and Scott Smith was hiding in the can.
Janet Abraham, she promised to defend, I guess, her faith, her teammates, and her whole team. And she did so on that jam to pick up 3 points, but she couldn't defend herself against the garbage can lid.
That's not in the Roller Jam manual. 16-15, the Enforcers by 1. And And the third jam of the third period results once again in Talisa Miller and Leather Gunnan jumping out there to score points. Earlier, they were out there with nobody else to help them. They just said, let us take it, girls. The other three went to the infield, and these two scored all the points. Sometimes when you're that tough, the other one's just getting your way. Francis and Abraham go back to block, and Miller takes their legs out from under them. Gunnan goes by and scores the points, and the hands on the hips means she called off the jam. And here's more trouble for Janet Abraham.
It's Armageddon, Rory.
Well, you talk about good versus evil. This is lightness against dark. And there's the darkness. You're peering into it.
I thought D'Amato was ugly.
Well, he is.
The Hellcat brings ugly right to the lower half of Katie Cooper, or actually that's Lindsey Francis, number 6, and Janet Abraham allows Leather Gunnan to score some points. The Hellcat and Leather are really doing a great job, and Rory, they're doing the same thing. They're sending the other 3 Enforcer women, Sisters of Suffering, to the infield.
It worked last time. Will it work this time? No! This time the 2 Enforcers, Miller and Gunnan, are laying on the track as Francis gets out of there.
And remember, if she passes the 2 Enforcer women, she gets all 5 points, Rory.
Gunnan's back to block. The 3 in the infield would count as points if Francis can do it. She's on the back of Gunnan. They're wrapped up with one another. The hairs fly, and the referee warns about holding. And Francis will try her again. Plenty of time to do it. 30 seconds left on the jam clock. Oh, and a dipsy-doodle move by Lindsey Francis takes Gunnan out of there. And now she needs one more, and that's Talisa Miller to get 5. Can she get by the witch, Talisa Miller? Miller wraps her 2 or 3 times, and the Hellcat winds up again, and they lead her by Abraham, and that'll help. No witch's spell would do anything on that one. Lindsey Francis gets all 5 by passing just 2.
The Hellcat knew it. She knew she represented 4 points if the Golden Girl got past her.
Now look out for Abraham and Talisa Miller going at it away from the play.
Don't let the Hellcat get to that garbage can lid, Janet.
That's the end of 3 periods, and the score is tied. Sundogs 20, Enforcers 20. We'll be right back.
Welcome to the World Rugby League.
It's been a wild 3 periods so far. The first half ended this way, with Scott Smith being dumped by D'Amato and Washington. The entire game has kind of had the shadow of witchcraft over it, thanks to Talisa Miller. She cast a spell on Lindsey Francis. Let's see if it's affected Lindsey. She's with Broadway Denny.
Thanks, Rory. Well, whatever spell she cast on you didn't keep you from scoring 5 points.
That's right, baby. You know what? Thank you. I love you, too. Talisa Miller, you tried your voodoo, and it didn't work. So next time you come near me, I might just have to break you and break off a little spell of my own.
Back to you, Rory.
I'll tell you, she's not afraid of Talisa Miller in the least. But Miller and Leather, when they get together and talk, it's trouble. Here we go, the 4th and final period of the game, and we enter the last period tied up at 20. Both teams get 2 jammers out, including the Big Nasty. You see him trailing the play? Be careful if he's behind you. And right now, that's exactly what Micah Martin and Brian Gallagher must be thinking. I don't know if they're thinking about anything right now except recovery.
That looked like a bus.
Look at this guy's speed. I mean, when he gets all that weight rolling, there's a lot of momentum over there. All right, now the Big Nasty gets to the back of the pack where Bill Barker is waiting. Barker's big, but Washington dwarfs him. D'Amato is waiting in the middle of the track. Oh! He took his own man out. He took Washington out, and he bobs his head like a bobblehead doll. And Barker, picking up the leadership role with Lowe gone, just made a big play.
Well, right there at the end, the Big Nasty was occupying Captain America. You'd think Captain America would have his hands full, but right at the last moment, getting ready for the screamer, you see Captain America duck out of the way, and the Big Nasty, the recipient of Mark D'Amato's screamer. Those two together is usually ugly. But on a positive note for Enforcer fans right there, they're not partying on the east side of Manhattan anymore, Rory.
He looked up just in time. And now with the score still tied at 20 in the second of 4 jams here in this final period underway. Let's see if the Sundogs can get some points as Bill Barker goes out there in the jam, and now he's the only one out there.
And somebody we were talking about has to emerge as the leader of these Sundogs with Kenneth Logue gone and the royalty stripped of this Lord Patterson now. Scott Smith guy, Captain America, says, I ain't a king. I'm not necessarily a leader with my mouth. I just play the game. Jump on, climb aboard. I'll take you to victory, people.
Washington, the big nasties, back there with D'Amato. The two of them gang up. They talk strategy as Barker thinks about a way to get through that blockade. Washington has him. Now D'Amato's got him. And down goes Bill Barker, blinking his eyes and saying, where am I?
There was no hold. He ran right into the guy.
D'Amato lurks over him. Rusty Montgomery comes over. Oh, and he gave him a left hook. I don't think Rusty saw that haymaker coming from D'Amato.
Well, Sean Corbin didn't see it either. Oh, no. Oh, no.
Let's go. Put him down. Let's go. That's it. You're in there. You want to keep it up.
Oh, no, Rory. This is getting out of control.
One more and get out of here.
Corbin is trying to get Washington to the penalty box. D'Amato's just working over Barker. Or is that Montgomery? It's hard to tell with D'Amato on top of him. But that's Barker for sure. And now D'Amato's being sent to the box. And the fans looking on saying, yep, that's the way it should be, even though D'Amato, of course, doesn't agree with it. Washington's already over there. D'Amato goes in, and the Enforcers in a tie game, because of a surprising lack of discipline, have 2 players in the penalty box. Big advantage for the Sundogs right here. Sigmund Williams streaks out of there. Andy Wallace is with him for the Enforcers, and Micah Martin is there as well. So it's Martin and Williams for the Sundogs against Wallace for the Enforcers, and if the Sundog scorers should pass all 3 of the Enforcer players, they'd get 5, not 3 points, because of the 2 in the box. Micah Martin and Sigmund Williams, it looks like they might just go ahead and rely on speed right here. They say, well, we didn't knock him down, but we can sure outrun him. And that's what they're doing. These 2 guys can fly. And now it's up to Fred Eichhorn. Boy, it's a different team, isn't it? Without D'Amato and Washington out there to block, they just went down about 400 pounds or more. Williams and Micah Martin trying to get by, and Barker says, come on, fellas, I'll lead you to the promised land. Whoa. And there they go. They took Fred Eichhorn out big time. They're chasing Santiago. I don't know if they'll get him. The jam clock says no time left. And the whistle blows, and let's see what Sean Corbin awards. 2 points. 2 Sundog points, and Florida has the lead.
The Enforcers dodged a bullet there, though, Rory. They only got 2 points. It could have been a lot worse. They waited till a little bit too late to make their move. With D'Amato and Washington in the penalty box, you'd think they'd get a lot more points than that.
Bill Barker knowing right now the game's on the line, and maybe he realizes a lot of it's up to him. The Sundogs lead 22-20, and the final jam of the night is underway. We'll decide who's going to win it right here. 2 Sundog jammers and 1 Fred Eichhorn for the Enforcers against Brian Gallagher and Micah Martin. All 3 of them terrific skaters, and you usually see guys like this go out in the final jam of the night. They gave the Sundogs 3, so it's 23-20. Gallagher and Martin trying to deal with Eichhorn. This is it. The game will be decided right here. Rusty Montgomery sets up with Scott Smith. Scott Smith back there to block. And the big nasty took 4 skaters out at one time. Eichhorn leaps to his feet. Can he get any points here? Santiago leaps to his feet, and now Barker's knocked down by D'Amato, and Santiago goes over the top.
3 black.
They gave him 3. That means it's tied. It's tied up. We'd like to get a little refresher course on the overtime rules. Broadway Danny Wolf is down there. What have you got, Danny?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what's going on. Sean Corbin, senior referee, tie game.
Tie game. We go to overtime, sudden death. Ladies take the track.
No.
First woman
No, never, never. While I'm on the track, will the women decide the outcome of this game?
No.
The men will take...
No, the rules are this women skate. You can't make up your own rules every time something happens.
You're making me nuts with these rules.
You know what? I'll tell you what. We're going to have a match race. Barker, pick a guy, because the Big Nasty's racing tonight. Let's go.
If Kenneth Logue was here, he would never allow it.
I don't pick a guy. Big Pansy wants a match race. I'll take you match race right now.
All right, I guess the decision is a match race.
Wow,
We're
what
gonna have
a
match
reaction
race.
by the Big Nasty. And what in the heck is Scott Smith thinking? The match race to decide the winner of this game, and we come back.
I'm thinking of a number between 1 and 10.
And Scott Smith of the Sundogs are going to have a match race to decide it, and right now Broadway Danny Wolf is with the great Patriot, Washington.
I gotta ask you, Big Nasty, what is with that silly wig?
Well, you know, Danny, in 1776, a great Washington kicked British ass. And in 2000, another great Washington is going to kick some British ass!
I happen to know that's exactly the same attitude George Washington had.
And I think he yelled just like that, Rory, and he weighed 3,000 pounds.
Haddison looks like a Cupid doll standing next to Washington. All right, what's Scott Smith going to do?
Well, he's bringing a knife to a gunfight. I know that, partner.
He's already unconscious, just about. And there goes George Washington, skating around the track to the cheers of the crowd. He's crossing the river again. There's Scott Smith, who called himself Patterson a while back. He's already a lap down. You can't move an immovable object. The Big Nasty grabs him and decks him.
That's no way to treat a lady, Scott.
This would never happen if Kenneth Logue were here. Believe me, he would never have allowed Scott Smith to take this match race and obviously lose this game in a complete mismatch. Now he's going to try it again. Remember, he's 2 laps behind in a 3-lap match race. He ought to just take off and start running. Maybe he can outrun him to the line. Down he goes again. Is Washington done? Well, he glances behind him and says, maybe I'll give him another shot if he gets up.
Hello, this is tough to watch.
It's even tougher to be in it if you're Scott Smith. He grabs his legs, and that's not a bad open field tackle. The wig came off at least.
You got to appreciate the tenacity of this young guy. He's had his apparent title, Lord, stripped of him. The truth is that, but he's still fighting this monster Big Nasty.
Well, the Big Nasty now back in his normal look without a hair on his head. Crosses the line. Is he going to cross it? No, not quite. The Britishers holding him up. All he has to do is cross that yellow tape, and the game belongs to the enforcers.
I think he enjoys this, Rory. I think Big Nasty's enjoying this little humiliation game he's with.
He's toying with this guy.
Oh, no.
And he falls backwards over the line to claim victory for the enforcers, for the U.S., and for himself. Broadway Danny Wolf standing by with Mark D'Amato.
Yeah, I'm here with Mark, and I guess chalk one up for the old USA there, Marco.
That's right. I couldn't be prouder of Washington. You know what? One more time, another great Washington is victorious.
And how about Kenneth Logue? Inconspicuous by his absence. We don't know where he is.
As always, Logue has proved himself a coward. He's not here tonight. Logue, I got a message for you. I'm glad you're back in power. I had so much fun the first time taking you down. I'm going to have more fun doing it this time.
Back to you, Rory.
Thanks for being with us, everybody. We'll be back with you next time.